We are back on Inside Politics today. My guest is Ken Jost, a member of the media that covers the Supreme Court on a national basis, one of the top analysts in covering that particular beat. He got his start here in Nashville as a reporter and has continued that in Washington. Ken, my question to you, the other big topic before the court is going to involve gun rights, involves the Second Amendment. It's the first time in some years that a case has been taken up by the court. The case is out of New York State. New York has a firearms licensing bill, law that goes back many years. People who are filing suit about this say that this violates the Second Amendment. What's the potential impact on this, on how you think the court might rule?
Well, in New York, if you want a permit to carry a weapon on the street outside your home, you have to demonstrate, quote, proper cause for needing to go around carrying a weapon. And the authorities have been very stingy in approving such applications. So a gun group in New York and two individual plaintiffs challenged that law as a violation of what they contend the Second Amendment provides. New York actually is something of an outlier state. By now, about half of the states, including Tennessee, have very permissive laws on granting a permit to carry a weapon in public. And so the impact of this will be somewhat muted, but it has a very real impact in New York and half a dozen other states. And this case will be argued on November 3rd. And the Biden administration has asked for time in both of these hot button cases. The Biden administration is defending New York's law, and the Biden administration will be challenging Mississippi's law. And almost all of the states have lined up one way or another in these two cases. In the gun case, 26 red states are siding with the gun rights group in New York, and 19 states are arguing for upholding New York's restrictive law.
And increasing...
And in both of these issues, the anti-abortion groups and the gun rights groups are very, very hungry for big wins this year from this court.
Supreme Court also is getting into some controversy over the use of what's known as its emergency or shadow docket. This is how they handled the Texas case we talked about earlier. What exactly is that docket? How does it function? And the court's getting in trouble because when they put these things out, these decisions out, they don't necessarily give out who voted what, and they don't give out any opinions to go with it, which leaves people to some degree guessing or in the dark a little bit about it, doesn't it?
It is somewhat secretive. Nothing happens in public. Briefs are filed. So what happens is that one side or another says, "Oh, well, we can't wait for the usual procedure. We need to find out what the law is right now." So abortion clinics in Texas went to the Supreme Court and said, "This is an emergency. Please strike this law down." Texas filed a response and said, "This law is okay, and you have no procedural hook to rule on it." And so all of that happened within the span of 72 hours, I think it was, from Monday to Thursday, and by a 5-4 vote, the Supreme Court said, "Okay, we're not going to stop this law," and ever since then, it's been illegal for anyone in Texas to get an abortion after the 6th week of pregnancy, or for anyone to help someone to get an abortion after the 6th week of pregnancy. So, for instance, if you drive your friend or if you drive your wife to the abortion clinic, you're aiding and abetting a legal violation, and you may have to pay somebody $10,000.
Ken Jost is our guest on Inside Politics. He's one of the leading analysts of the Supreme Court, which begins its next term on Monday. Back to continue our conversation after this break.